Alright, well, I guess this is going to be a normal series on my channel now, isn't it? Anyways, before I get into what we're talking about here, what's up, guys? This is Vindictam's Cantina here, coming at you with another. I'm going to call the series Debunking ScreenRant, or any other article that comes out that's just dumb, and that there is answers to this. So apparently, Shang-Chi unintentionally calls out the older Star Wars plot hole. Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings takes an unintentional shot at Star Wars, calling out one of the franchise's worst plot holes. So they're pretty much comparing the two, because I guess in this movie he had to change his name. And then this is when the actual article starts when it comes to comparing the two. Though unintentionally, Shang-Chi seemingly calls out a baffling Star Wars plot hole on the way to. I don't know how to say that. Shang-Chi opens up about his past, telling Katie he lied about his name. He previously told her his name was Sean. However, Sean and Shane has similar pronunciations, and can't let them one slide. I wonder how your father found it, she jokes, adding, "What is your name?" Change logic. Though the scene provided comic relief in the film, and Katie ripping jokes about Shang-Chi's terrible name change, it also points out a similar era in Star Wars. You know what's funny? I bet you if I watched the movie right now, I would think, okay, well, it just happens that Luke and him had a, I'll get more into that here. Shang-Chi's name change repeats in an Star Wars issue. In The Galaxy Far, Far Away, Obi-Wan Kenobi watches over Luke Skywalker while hiding from the Empire under ill-conceived alias of Ben Kenobi. Additionally, no one changes Luke's last name from Skywalker, and he even grows up in the same place as his father, Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. Despite the apparent issues, the Star Universe views the name change, or lack thereof, as an acceptable way to hide. Like Shang-Chi's changes his name to Sean, the Star Wars name changes for Obi-Wan and Luke are similarly horrible. The Shang-Chi scene doesn't even need to mention Star Wars to connect to it. The creators behind MCU films are very familiar with Star Wars, adding several homages to the franchise throughout their movies and shows. So the connection could be intentional. After all, like Luke, Shang-Chi is hiding from his infamous father, but in many ways Star Wars sets a precedent for bad name changes. All other lives name changes simply live in the shadows, and when it comes to terrible name changes, the force is strong with Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. You know what's sad about this? People, they're viewing this from the angle when you're watching episodes. Episode 1, Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and then Episode 4, A New Hope. But can I please just point out something? The whole name change with Luke, it's, in some cases, yes, it doesn't make no sense. I will say that much. Yes, they probably should have changed it, but let me just say something right now here. When George Lucas first made A New Hope, back then it was known as just simply Star Wars. Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker were two separate characters. Darth Vader did not become Luke's father until the time that George Lucas wrote Empire Strikes Back with Lawrence Kasdan. But of course, this is ScreenRant. They're not going to do their research, because obviously the two articles I've done have already proven that much. So, and when it comes to Ben Kenobi, here's the thing. Ben Kenobi is a hermit on Tatooine. Probably the reason why Tatooine makes sense to go there is because, one, the Republic, at that point, Empire, has no presence out there. Yes, there are stormtroopers, but that's because of droids. It's no different than in the Clone Wars movie, to where the Clone Wars are sent there because of the fact that, the Republic and the Separatists wants to make a deal with Jabba for their hyperspace lanes. So, going by that logic, okay, at that point, you know, Darth Vader wasn't killing Jedi anymore, I don't think. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Now keep in mind, I still need to read through canon and legends, but at that point, he was more focused on trying to get the Death Star plans. And the fact of the matter is, Obi-Wan wouldn't have been recognizable to any of the stormtroopers on Tatooine. Now, here's the thing. If someone, if he were to walk in there and someone called him Ben Kenobi, then yes, there might have been some problems. But chances are, nobody knows on Tatooine that Ben Kenobi is Obi-Wan Kenobi, except for Owen and Beru Lars, considering at the end of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and it was also stated in A New Hope as well, from what I remember, that Obi-Wan brought him to Tatooine because those two were his only family alive. Because technically speaking, Owen and Beru Lars are technically stepbrother and stepsister-in-law to Anakin. And why is that? Well, because Anakin's mother married Owen's father, Klieg Lars. So yes, looking at it that way, yes, I see what they're trying to do here, but when you actually think in the context of the movies, and if they are Star Wars fans, they would know exactly why they weren't recognized. Why no one knew that Luke was a Skywalker. Or why Ben is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because Ben was hiding. Jedis and Sith are able to hide their Force presence. And that's probably why he wasn't found. And not only that, in some cases, Owen Lars actually made the right decision of not allowing Obi-Wan to train Luke. Because he would have, let's say, just so happens Darth Vader goes to Tatooine, or goes anywhere near Tatooine, he's going to sense it. And he's going to get curious. And then he's going to send, to be honest, he's probably going to go down there himself with a legion of stormtroopers and search every single household to find out where this Force presence is coming from. And then what's going to happen is Obi-Wan and Luke would have to run. And not to mention in Legends, they also stated, now keep in mind they did change this in canon, because Darth Vader did actually go to Tatooine, to where in Legends, Qui-Gon told Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon's Force Ghost told Obi-Wan that Darth Vader is not going to come near Tatooine. Why? Because a lot of bad memories are here. That part of Anakin that's still in there clings to Tatooine. Because a lot of bad happened there for him. And the fact of the matter is, Darth Vader only went to Tatooine in canon to meet with Jabba the Hutt. Now, Kenobi coming up, we could see possibly maybe Darth Vader hear some rumblings of Obi-Wan, because we do know that there's a chance that Obi-Wan and Vader are going to be fighting in Kenobi. Now, I'm not for it because I prefer them sticking to what we know, but if they do that, I think it could be, if it's unreal, it could be really be done fantastically. But the fact of the matter is, do you really think the stormtroopers are going to be looking at this hermit or this little boy, or in this case, in A New Hope, teenager, and be like, okay, well, geez, these two are obviously force sensitive. Going by context of the prequels here, and also Empire Strikes Back, oh, geez, well, this boy is clearly the son of our boss, and this old hermit is clearly Obi-Wan Kenobi, a fugitive of the Empire. No. Because those stormtroopers probably would, have no idea that Darth Vader was Anakin. That was a well-kept secret. Not many people knew in the Empire that Darth Vader was actually Anakin Skywalker. Number 2. Obi-Wan wasn't really that recognizable because of him being down on Tatooine, and because of the heat, he aged quickly. Because Obi-Wan's not really that old in A New Hope. I believe he's either in his 50s. I believe so, anyways. Yeah, I believe so. He was either in his 50s or in his 60s, and he looked like he was more in his 70s or 80s in A New Hope. But he was actually a lot younger, if you do the math. So, let's offer another what-if scenario here. What if, like I said, Darth Vader did find out. Again, he would have went down there himself, and he probably would have ran through Owen and Beru Lars after they refused to tell him where this other force sensitive is. And then what's going to happen is he's going to put 2 and 2 together. And then he's going to try to find Obi-Wan. And then when he does find them, either A, they have already escaped, or B, we would have the fight that took place on the Death Star happen on Tatooine. So kind of think about it as like another version. Actually, this probably would have been pretty damn cool to see this. Kind of like a total, like a symbolism thing with Qui-Gon and Maul. And then in Legends, which was in this non-canon comic, which in a way became, was definitely the inspiration for the duel between Obi-Wan and Maul in Rebels. Maul and Obi-Wan in this non-canon comic is, this would have been a total callback to Qui-Gon and Maul during Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, to where Qui-Gon, goes, Anakin, drop! And then Anakin drops, Darth Maul jumps off his speeder, and then they both fight. And obviously we know what happens, Qui-Gon gets up onto the ship, and then we have the whole introduction between Obi-Wan and Anakin. So that would have happened. And here's the thing. Let's say Darth Vader managed to kill Obi-Wan. Well, that's bad, because Luke would have been trained by Darth Vader and became a Sith Lord. That would mean quite literally, if Bail found out because of Yoda, and if Obi-Wan went to Bail Organa as a Force ghost, if it's even possible for Bail Organa to even see Obi-Wan as a Force ghost, so therefore he would go to Yoda and tell him, hey, Luke has fallen to the dark side, we need to get Leia, and we need to tell her about her heritage. So then what would happen is, Yoda would have no choice but to find a way off of Dagobah, or B, if he had a communication device in his little hut, he would have to contact Bail Organa and tell him to get a ship, come to Dagobah, bring Leia. Oh wait, there's one little problem with that. let's say this whole thing took place around the time of A New Hope. Leia is in custody of the Empire. So, in order for this whole what if to work, I gotta put it before then. I gotta put it before Rogue One. So, they would have to get Leia, bring her to Dagobah, and then she gets told basically that her whole life was a lie. And then she gets trained as a Jedi. You know, with Yoda, Force Ghost Obi-Wan, and probably a Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn. Now that would make a very cool what if, because in a way we kind of saw that in the what if in the Force Unleashed. I believe it was the Force Unleashed 2, I believe, or it might have been Force Unleashed. I totally forgot. So ScreenRant. The fact of the matter is, and this is just the bottom line, during A New Hope, George Lucas did not know that Star Wars was going to become this big IP and change a lot of people's lives and make, a lot of people want to make movies and all that. He had no idea that Anakin Darth Vader was going to be the same person yet. That's just the bottom line of it. So it didn't make no sense for Darth Vader to go to Tatooine, if you think about that logic. But if you bring in everything else, yes, the whole, the fact that he didn't change his name was definitely a little weird. I totally get that. I do. But you guys are overthinking it. Because the stormtroopers during A New Hope, they would have no idea that this kid is Darth Vader's son. Because again, not many people knew that Darth Vader was Anakin in the Empire. Not only that, Ben Kenobi was a hermit. We don't know how the rest of Tatooine thought of Ben Kenobi. Nobody knew that he was a Jedi, most likely. Except for people that actually knew that he was a Jedi. Now, yes, in Legends, he did go on missions while he was watching Luke. And he did do things while protecting Luke. But the fact of the matter is, most of the time, he was standing guard, protecting Luke. So, I'm pretty sure that he would know if Darth Vader would have, found them eventually. I'm just saying, obviously I don't know nothing about Star Wars, because clearly you guys do, with this awesome A+ article that really anyone can write. Bottom conclusion is, during the filming of New Hope, the whole idea of Anakin and Darth Vader being separate people was not a thing yet. So therefore, the name, Luke didn't really need to change his last name to Lars. Now that would have been smarter, yes. But, again, there is realistic reason why they didn't. And with that said, that's it for this video. As always, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later, guys.